In 2026, America is still standing. The flag still flies. The streets are still busy. The lights are still on. From the outside, nothing looks broken. There are no emergency broadcasts interrupting television programs. No national warning telling people that something is about to fail. Life continues as usual. Cars fill the highways every morning. Office buildings remain open late into the night. People wake up early, scroll through their phones, drink coffee, and leave for work. Everything appears normal. But beneath that familiar rhythm, something has changed. Something invisible. Something deeply unsettling. Millions of Americans feel it every single day. It is not panic. It is not chaos. It is a quiet, constant pressure. A sense that stability no longer exists. This is not a story about people who refuse to work. It is not about laziness, excuses, or lack of effort. It is about people who followed the rules. People who did what they were told. They studied. They trained. They showed up on time. They stayed loyal. And yet, they feel closer to falling than ever before. For decades, America was built on a simple promise. If you work hard, if you improve your skills, if you stay committed, your life will slowly become secure. That promise shaped generations. Parents passed it down to their children. Teachers repeated it in classrooms. Guidance counselors built entire career paths around it. It influenced where people lived, how much debt they accepted, how many children they felt safe having. It was not about becoming rich. It was about safety. In 2026, that promise is no longer reliable. It has not disappeared overnight. It has not collapsed in a dramatic moment. Instead, it is quietly breaking. Piece by piece, system by system. America is not running out of jobs. It is running out of certainty. On paper, the economy looks stable. Unemployment numbers do not suggest disaster. Major companies still report profits. New technologies continue to emerge. But statistics cannot measure fear. They cannot measure the anxiety of opening an email every morning, wondering if today is the day something ends. They cannot measure the silence that follows dozens of job applications. They cannot measure the feeling that effort no longer guarantees progress. That feeling is spreading. Jobs are not disappearing with loud announcements. They are disappearing quietly. A role is restructured. A department is optimized. A contract is not renewed. A replacement is never hired. No warning, no explanation, just absence. At the center of this shift is artificial intelligence, not the version from movies, not machines walking into offices. Something far more subtle. AI did not arrive as a threat. It arrived as a solution. At first, people welcomed it. It saved time. It reduced errors. It increased efficiency. Emails were written faster. Reports that once took days now take minutes. Customer questions were answered instantly. Productivity soared. And productivity always has consequences. When output increases without increasing demand, someone becomes unnecessary. In 2026, companies are no longer asking how technology can help workers perform better. They are asking a quieter, more dangerous question. How many people do we actually need? One automated system replaces multiple roles. One software tool eliminates an entire team. One update removes the need for training new employees. Jobs do not vanish overnight. Entry points disappear. The bottom of the ladder is removed. And without the bottom, there is no path upward. Young Americans feel this first. They graduate with degrees. They carry heavy debt. They apply to hundreds of positions. And they wait. Not for rejection, for silence. Because many companies are no longer hiring beginners. They are hiring systems. This is where the pressure begins. This is where uncertainty becomes permanent. And this is only the beginning. For a long time, the American middle class believed in one powerful idea. As long as you had a job, you were safe. Not wealthy, not privileged, but protected. That belief shaped everyday life. It decided where people bought homes, how much debt they accepted, how confident they felt planning for the future. In 2026, that belief is no longer stable. It is cracking under pressure. Millions of Americans still wake up early and go to work. They still receive paychecks. They still follow routines. But the feeling of security is gone. Money enters their accounts and disappears almost immediately. Rent takes more than it used to. Groceries cost more every month. Healthcare expenses feel endless. What remains is never enough. The middle class is not collapsing in a dramatic way. It is being squeezed from every direction. Wages rise slowly, if they rise at all. But prices never slow down. People adjust. They cancel vacations. They delay home repairs. They stop going out. They tell themselves it's temporary. At first, they blame inflation. Then they blame poor timing. Eventually, they stop blaming anything and start accepting less. This is how pressure becomes normal. In 2026, many middle-class families live one emergency away from crisis. A medical bill, a car breakdown, a sudden job loss. Any one of these can change everything. Savings accounts shrink. Credit cards fill up. Loans become lifelines. Debt is no longer optional. It is survival. What makes this moment different from the past is not hardship. America has faced hardship before. What's different is predictability. In previous generations, struggle often came with hope. People believed that sacrifice today would lead to stability tomorrow. In 2026, that belief is fading. Hard work no longer guarantees progress. 2 full-time incomes are often not enough. Side jobs become mandatory. Weekends disappear. Rest feels like a luxury. Parents feel it deeply. They worry about giving their children less despite doing more than their parents ever did. They work longer hours but feel less in control. Education no longer feels like protection. Degrees no longer promise opportunity. Even professionals feel replaceable. Managers, analysts, skilled workers. No one feels untouchable. Layoffs are no longer shocking. They are expected. When someone loses a job, the question is no longer, why them? The question is, who's next? This uncertainty changes behavior. People stop taking risks. They stop starting businesses. They stop imagining without discussion. One person is asked to handle work that once required several people. Software fills the gaps. This creates a new kind of pressure. Workers feel constantly measured, constantly evaluated. Not against coworkers, but against machines. Speed becomes the standard. Accuracy becomes mandatory. Human limits are treated like weaknesses. Mistakes feel dangerous. Breaks feel risky. Vacations feel irresponsible. Even highly skilled professionals feel exposed. Designers, writers, analysts, engineers. No role feels completely safe anymore. The fear is rarely spoken out loud. It appears in behavior. People respond to messages instantly. They work longer hours. They avoid saying no. They hesitate to disconnect. They try to prove their value every single day. But value is no longer human. It is numerical. Metrics. Output. Efficiency. If a system can do most of your job, the remaining part must justify your existence. That pressure is exhausting. People feel trapped between gratitude and fear. Grateful to still be employed. Afraid of becoming replaceable. Layoffs are no longer shocking. They are expected. When someone disappears from a team, the question is no longer, why did this happen? It becomes, how long until it happens again? This changes how people see work. Jobs feel temporary. Careers feel fragile. Planning feels dangerous. AI does not hate workers. It simply makes them optional. And when being optional becomes normal, fear becomes permanent. This quiet fear, more than unemployment itself, defines the job crisis of 2026.